I remember the smell first reheated sourdough and that sweet, cheap red wine they pour like it's a gift. I had a hoodie on the old gray one my mom told me to throw away a dozen times and a window seat in row 2. Dallas to Seattle early afternoon. I kept my head down, opened my laptop, acted like any other traveler who just wanted to disappear for 3 hours. 3 weeks earlier, I'd signed papers to buy an airline. Not the biggest, not the flashiest Aerolite. Mid-sized, decent planes, terrible culture. I'd heard the whispers for a year. Certain people double-checked certain faces, treated like they'd wandered into a room they shouldn't be in. Before I touched a single policy, before any press release, I wanted to see it with my own eyes. No entourage, no tailored suit, no Mr. Brooks. Can I get you anything? Just me. Caleb in a hoodie that made me invisible to the kind of people who only see what they've been trained to expect. She came down the aisle, all posture and polished buns so tight it looked like a headache. "Good afternoon," she said to the man in 2C. A nod, a laugh at his golf joke, a napkin placed just so. Then those same eyes slid over to me and stiffened. "Sir, may I see your boarding pass again?" I glanced at the screen above my seat number and smiled. "Sure," I said, handing it over. She studied it too long, like it was written in a language only she could understand, and handed it back with a thin smile. "Thank you," she said, and moved on without the napkin, the joke, the humanity. I could have let it go. I've let worse go. But you learn to keep score quietly, like tally marks on the inside of your ribs. When meal service started, the cabin smelled like butter and black pepper and something steak-adjacent under a metal dome. Napkin silverware exactly placed for everyone except me. She breezed past my row like I was a shadow. I waited a beat. 2. I raised a hand. "Excuse me," I said, keeping my voice even. "I think you missed me." She blinked that smile again, the one that never reached her eyes. "Our premium meal is for first-class passengers, sir." I looked at my seat, looked back at her. "That's what I am." "May I see your boarding pass?" Once more, third time. I gave it to her because there are battles you pick and battles you document. She stared at it like it owed her money, then exhaled through her nose. "Sometimes upgrades happen last minute and the system doesn't update our count," she said. "I bought this seat 3 weeks ago," I said, softer than I felt. A woman across the aisle glanced up from her paperback, eyes narrowing. The flight attendant, Lena, her badge said, tipped her head toward the back. "If you'd be more comfortable, I can move you to our main cabin. The service is less formal there." Less formal. I felt it land in my gut, the old familiar suggestion that comfort only belongs to certain people. I smiled, that tired smile that says, "I'm not the one." "I'm comfortable here," I said. "And I'd like the same service as everyone else." Her mouth made a shape that meant "we'll see." She disappeared, reappeared with a tray that looked like a punishment. Wilted greens, overcooked steak wine sloshing crimson against the rim. She set it down too fast. The glass tipped. Red spread across my keyboard like a map of a country I didn't want to visit. "Oh no," she gasped, hand to her chest. How clumsy of me. I looked at my dead screen at the speech I'd spent a week polishing at the little red river that had just drowned it. Silence reached out around us. I could hear my own pulse. "That wasn't clumsy," the woman with the paperback said, voice clear, trained. "That was contempt." The cabin turned its head. Lena bristled. "Ma'am, accidents happen." "Do they?" the woman said, and held up her phone. "Because I've been watching you since takeoff. You skipped him, checked him 3 times, hinted he didn't belong, and now his laptop is a crime scene. My name's Naomi Clark. I litigate discrimination cases. You might want to choose your next sentence carefully." Lena's jaw hardened. She took a step to the front and pressed the call button for the cockpit. A minute later, the captain arrived, pressed uniform jaw like a ruler. Captain Grant Porter. He didn't look at me first. He looked at Lena the way a coach looks at his star player when a call doesn't go their way. "What seems to be the problem?" he asked her. "This gentleman is unhappy with our protocols," she said. Gentleman like it had quotation marks on both sides. I stayed seated, hands on my knees. Captain, I was denied what others received. When I asked for equal treatment, your attendant destroyed my property. His eyes did a slow, dismissive scan. Hoodie jeans, scuffed sneakers. The inventory of someone you've already decided isn't what the seat suggests they should be. Sir, he said, our premium cabins maintain a certain environment. If you're uncomfortable with our service, we can accommodate you elsewhere. Elsewhere as in the back, I said. Elsewhere as in the section that better fits your expectations, he said. Tight smile. Say what you mean, Naomi said. Because I'm recording, and the last thing you want on tape is the thing you almost said. He told her to stop filming. She told him to read the actual regulations. A few rows ahead, an older woman shifted in her seat like she wanted to shrink. A man cleared his throat and then swallowed his courage again. I've been here before, the place where everyone knows the line got crossed, but the air is too thick with fear and politeness to name it. I didn't argue. I didn't stand up. I did what I came to do. I took out my phone, slid to airplane Wi-Fi, and sent 5 words to my Chief of Staff, Amber, at Aerolite. Full protocol. We have codes. Amber means you saw it yourself. Don't wait. The hours to Seattle crawled. The captain made 2 announcements about following crew instructions, both of them shaped like warnings meant for me. Lena avoided my row like the truth might rub off. Naomi moved into the empty seat beside me. They picked the wrong man today, she whispered. She didn't know how right she was. We touched down, taxied to the gate. The seatbelt sign chimed. People popped up like toast elastics, snapping back to normal life. I stayed seated. So did Naomi. When the last passenger stepped off, the forward door opened again and a small group in suits boarded with quiet purpose. Sir Lena said to me, saccharine, returning like nothing had happened. We've arrived. You're free to deplane. I think you'll want to stay, I said. The tallest man handed the captain a folder. Authorization from Aerolite Corporate, he said. Immediate operational review. The captain scoffed. From who exactly? I stood, slipped off the hoodie, and took the ID my Chief of Staff offered me. From me, I said. Caleb Brooks, majority owner. Effective 3 weeks ago. There are moments when the air changes color. This was one. The captain's face went through disbelief, insult, then the kind of fear that makes men angry. Lena's hand flew to her mouth. In the galley, 2 attendants froze like photographs. We're placing this crew on administrative leave pending investigation, my head of HR said. Calm, precise. Naomi held up her phone. And I have documentation, she added. Crystal clear. The video played on the cabin screens. The skipped service, the 3rd boarding pass check, the tip of the glass, the red flood. No yelling, no dramatics. Just a sequence so obvious, it didn't need the commentary. Mr. Brooks, Lena said through a breath she couldn't catch. I had no idea who you were. That's the point, I said. You shouldn't need to know. The internet did what it does, a hashtag by dinner opinion panels by 9. The stock dipped. The calls rolled in. Maybe a soft statement someone suggested. We're committed to listening and learning. No. Listening and learning is what people say when they're buying time and hoping you forget. We pulled personnel files, not the neat, polished ones in the primary system, the messy ones hidden in a subfolder with names like MySC. Complaints that evaporated. Coaching conversations with no notes. And buried in the tech, a flag in the customer profile code, IDV plus identity verification enhanced. It lit up unequally, predictably. Not a policy, they'd say. Just a tool. Sure. A tool that always seemed to find the same faces. Captain Porter went on television, righteous and clipped. Protocol, he said. Security. He said profile without saying profile. He said standards. He said typical. We asked him to meet anyway, him and Lena. I prefer to look people in the eye before I move the earth beneath their feet. He arrived in full uniform, spine like a ruler lawyer at his shoulder. She came alone, jacket wrinkled, eyes red from a sleep she probably didn't get. This is unprecedented, he started before we'd sat. Suspending a crew over a misunderstanding. He pointed at me without pointing, came dressed to provoke. Lena flinched. Say it clean, I said. You didn't recognize me as first class because I wore a hoodie. I recognized atypical presentation, he said. We maintain standards. Premium cabins aren't casual. Like this. I nodded to the screen. Images popped up, stills from the cabin camera, sneakers, t-shirts, hoodies, served on silver. All white. They got standards and soup, I